Israel! Welcome to Israel! Israel is a small country. It stretches 263 miles from the north to the south and is about 9 to 71 miles wide. It has about 8.5 million people. About 3.5 million tourists visit yearly. This movie presentation should reveal Israel from border to border. All major sightseeing attractions plus Israel cities, malls and markets and zoos should be included. Few that tour Israel have really seen Israel or have gotten a glimpse of everyday life. Both the Jews and Arabs claim Israel is their land. This conflict began with Ishmael and Isaac, the two sons of Abraham, who was the father of many nations, including Israel, Genesis 17:1-22. The Arabs believe they are the rightful heirs to the land of Israel because Ishmael was the firstborn of Abram through the bondwoman Hagar, Genesis 16:1-16. The Jews say that Israel was promised to them because Isaac was the firstborn of Abraham through the free woman Sarah. This disagreement continues to this present day, as it is written in Psalm 83:4, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance." Jesus said in Matthew 24:9, "Ye which is Israel shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake." Ben Gurion Airport. This is Israel's largest international airport and is named after Israel's first Prime Minister. It is located to the southeast of Tel Aviv and its security is among the best in the world. Beginning the tour in Jerusalem. So alongside the old city wall, looking down toward the city of David area. Looking from the Mount of Olives over to the Kidron Valley, over to the city wall. The city of David, or ancient Jerusalem. The remains of this city, where King David built his palace and established his capital, are located on a narrow ridge running south from the Temple Mount outside the southern Old City Wall. The Kidron Valley borders the city on its east side. Nearby is the HEZEKIAH'S Spring. There are water tunnels, one built by King Hezekiah, where water still flows. Some biblical names of officials have been found among the artifacts. The earliest Canaanite settlement uncovered appears to date to the early Bronze Age. The model of Jerusalem at the Israel Museum gives details of what this city once looked like. Excavations, City of David. The old City of David. Areas of David's house and David's palace. Mount of Olives. And the road going through the valley.
Of course, made living up here of the styles.
Beginning of HEZEKIAH'S tunnel. Going down very steep stairs. We're continuing downward. HEZEKIAH'S tunnel. HEZEKIAH'S tunnel was dug under the city of David. His reign apparently approximately 725 to 696 BC. Note 2 Kings 20:20. It is one of the few intact structures in the world in that age that a person can both visit and walk through. The tunnel leads from the HEZEKIAH'S Spring to the Pool of Siloam. Its purpose was to provide Jerusalem with water during a siege.
Anyone going
The tunnel is approximately 1,749 feet long and has a slight slope to convey the water to the pool. Remains of the earliest wall ever built, to our knowledge, in the Middle Bronze Age, approximately 2,1550 BC, is located above HEZEKIAH'S tunnel. People heading down to go through the tunnel. We're going through the dry part of HEZEKIAH'S tunnel. We see a gate ahead of us. Right, this whole area was the Pool of Siloam, which means sent. This is located on the southern slope of the city of David, outside the old city walls. A Gihon spring fed the pool through 2 aqueducts. It is mentioned in John 9:7. Jesus told a blind man to go, wash in the Pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation sent. He went his way, therefore, and washed, and came seeing. Also Isaiah 22:9. You have seen also the breaches of the city of David, that they are many, and ye gathered together the waters of the lower pool. The pool thought to be the Siloam pool was remodeled in the 5th century and partly survives to this day. We've arrived at Abraham's tent, of which we're getting ready to go down to shortly. Abraham's tent. Abraham's tent, also called Genesis land, is a special reenactment of life in the days of Abraham. It is situated in the Judean desert on the way to the Dead Sea from Jerusalem. Many get to ride a camel from the reception center down a path to a large tent. After a delightful presentation is given by Abraham, guests are served a delicious Middle Eastern meal. The scenery here is spectacular.
So everybody up. Yes, you call the area Turkey, do you not? Which is a little strange for me.
Also here at Genesis land is some animals as well.
Hey, you saw there the donkey?
Still filming Jericho. Continuing through Jericho.
Tell you why there's so many police? You ask him?
Yeah, I told them why we came that way. They didn't know.
It's unusual to see so many police.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But
Continuing through Jericho.
we were told you're tough, so that's why we're glad you're with us.
Oh, okay.
No pressure.
House today. Anyway, we're going to see there's actually 2 trees, of course. Just like there's 2 churches for every site. And we can't, as you're getting back on the bus.
Continuing through Jericho. This is the traditional HEZEKIAH'S tree, Jericho. We've already covered the Jericho Road. That road is located along the eastern edge of the old city. It descends into the Kidron Valley, which is also known as the Valley of Jehoshaphat. The road continues along the bottom of the Mount of Olives and continues as a regular street. As we're traveling along here in Jericho, our elevation is minus 447 feet. This is Elisha Spring. Ancient Jericho. Jericho, the Tell Jericho, or Hill of Jericho, some excavations of the ancient ruins have been done. It is here that God brought the walls of Jericho down. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days by Joshua and the children of Israel, reference Hebrews 11:30, Joshua 6, 1-27. Nearby is modern-day Jericho, which is an Arab Palestinian town. Jericho is approximately 900 foot below sea level. The Jordan River enters the Dead Sea south of Jericho. However, the river is so small at this point, it is difficult to see. That's supposed to be a Canaanite tower there. Off in the distance here is a new modern Jericho, an Arab community. Remains of Herod's winter palace in the Jericho area. The Wadi Quilt.
Miles away.
It's a dry riverbed that can suddenly fill with water from distances away, long distance. St. George Monastery. This monastery is located in the eastern West Bank. It was founded reportedly in 480 AD. It became an important center in the 6th century. It was abandoned after the Persians destroyed it reportedly in 614 AD. Some restorations were done in 1179. In 1878, more were done and then finished in 1901. Many legends or traditions are attached to it. The 6th century monastery is hanging on a cliff. It has gardens and an ancient chapel. It is occupied by Eastern Orthodox monks and is reached by a bridge across the Wadi Quilt. The valley parallels what once was the old Roman road to Jericho. Visitors are welcome. And there's kind of a waterfall that's nearby. We're looking there at the old Jericho Road. Some of the mountain formations as we're up here on the hill filming, very beautiful. On the back side of Mount Scopus. Mount Scopus is at the north end of the Mount of Olives. Most of the areas we have shown thus far are east of Jerusalem. Samuel's tomb, traditional. We're on top of traditional Samuel's tomb. Excavations going on. Now we look off in the distance. Very foggy today. Now we're on what you call the backside. Samuel's tomb, or Samuel's traditional tomb. Again, very foggy in the distance. Ramallah.
Okay, home by King David. And Jordan River and the tabernacle.
Ancient Gideon Hotel. Ancient Gideon. Ramah was in Benjamin's area. This name is mentioned in the Bible 36 times. Jeremiah 31:15, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Rachel, weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children because they were not. 1 Kings 15:17, Baasha, king of Israel, went up against Israel and built Ramah. Elkanah and Hannah were in Ramah, 1 Samuel 1:19. It was the hometown of Samuel. Saul went to Naioth in Ramah, 1 Samuel 19:23. An idea of how close this is to Jerusalem, that's Jerusalem in the distance from the traditional Samuel's tomb. Angelon is a valley northwest of Jerusalem, where Joshua prayed and the sun and moon stood still about a full day, reference Joshua 10:11-14. It is also a location of a great victory over the Philistines by King Saul and Jonathan, his son. Desert, one of King Solomon's fortified cities. Roman bath area dating to about 250 AD. Jaffa is in the Bible 14 times. It was an ancient port city on the Mediterranean, just south of Tel Aviv. It is on a tell or high hill, which has an excellent strategic view of the sea. Behind some buildings, erected on the water's edge, are many boats and walkways. Napoleon captured Jaffa for 13,000 French troops. There is a traditional site there marked Simon the Tanner, whom Peter stayed with, Acts 9:42. Peter had a vision there, Acts 11:5. Tabitha died and was raised to life by Peter in Jaffa, Acts 9:37-40. As a result, many believed in the Lord there, Acts 9:42.
Your mum. You are fine. I think it's a bit of a compliment. We are standing outside of an Armenian Christian church.
Above the doorway is written House of Simon the Tanners. This is traditional.
Okay, here's the lighthouse. You want to get a picture of it right behind you.
Tel Aviv Beach. Coming up is the Hadassah Hospital.
Jacob,
The hospital.
bless John the Baptist.
Hadassah
There is a
Hospital.
well.
Coming up is the Holocaust Museum. Holocaust Museum.
and the tree died the day she died, and they've had a hard time getting a new one to survive. Part of they try to blame it on Hollanders or Netherlanders, they call them, picking the leaves off. I think there's more to it than that.
Yad Vashem, Memorial, Shem names. A person leaving, they want to cry. This museum stands as a tribute to the dead and a witness to the world of its atrocities. It reveals the horrors of what man can do to man. Despite these horrors, some wicked people today want to do more. The Jews are God's people. Israel is God's land. Reference 2 Chronicles 7:20, Isaiah 14:25, Jeremiah 2:7, 16:18, Ezekiel 36:5, 38:16, Joel 1:6, and 3:2. Jerusalem is where Jesus Christ shall reign and rule for 1,000 years. Why do so many hate the Jews so much? It is written, Matthew 10:22 and verse 9, Ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Yad Vashem, the Room of Names. The Room of Names is part of Yad Vashem. It contains a list of about 5,700,000 Jewish people, men, women, and children who were murdered in the Holocaust by the Nazis and their accomplices. Also pictured in Yad Vashem are 14 Nazi death camps and the bodies of murdered Jews heaped together in massive common graves. Coming up is an incredible model of Jerusalem.
Anyway, people had to park on the sunlight. We'll see this on Friday when we're down on the Valley Bridge, going from here over to the Mount of Olives, like the Romans would.
City of David area.
No evidence at all of that kind of a bridge. And it goes higher. You go up these steps, it gets higher. You go into the temple, it gets higher. You go inside and go into the Holy Holies, it's a few steps higher. Every level, as it gets closer, more holier, it gets higher. And this is one thing we bring out when we're doing the temple now. Now, the Book of Mark.
City of David area. The Temple, Holy of Holies. The old city model, times of Jesus. This beautiful reconstruction of Jerusalem from around AD 66 was commissioned in 1966 by Hans Krach in memory of his son. It is built to a 150 or 1.50 scale with authentic construction materials and covers 21,520 square feet. This would be about 1/2 the size of a football field without the end zones. It was displayed at the Holy Land Hotel, which he owned, but was moved to the Israeli Museum in 2006 at a cost of $3.5 million. This is near the Shrine of the Book. The detail is so incredible that the temple portion of this work has been used in many movies. The initial work took 2 years to construct. The Shrine of the Book. The Shrine of the Book is a wing of the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. It houses many rare ancient manuscripts, including the Dead Sea Scrolls. Its construction took place in 1965. The shrine is a white dome, which symbolizes the scroll of the War of the Sons of Light, and the black wall symbolizes the Sons of Darkness. As people look at the shrine, they see water being sprayed on the building. This helps to keep the temperature inside constant.
Bible, the Nano Bible 2015, gold-plated silicon chip engraved with a focused ion beam, produced in the laboratories of the Technion Israel Institute of Technology, Haifa. The engraving process is seen through an electron microscope.
Explained exactly how to do it.
Israel Museum. The Israel Museum was founded in Jerusalem in 1965. It covers about 50,000 square meters and attracts approximately 800,000 visitors a year. It is open normally from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Behind its creation was Jerusalem Mayor Teddy Kollek. The museum has approximately 500,000 objects. They represent a broad example of the world's culture. The Venus Beckenhack is considered to be the oldest artwork in the world. On the museum grounds is a huge, accurate model of Jerusalem from the time of Herod's temple. Bethlehem. We should all know the song, O Little Town of Bethlehem. It is mentioned in the Bible 38 times. Only 8 of them is in the New Testament. It means house of bread. There is no question this town is where Jesus was born. It is about 6 miles south of Jerusalem. It has about 25,000 people. Most are Muslim. Tourism is their main industry. At the time Jesus was born, it was small. The old village has long been lost to history.
To get to the cisterns, to the water, so they don't have to go out in the Roman kiln. There is a lower city. This is the upper city, and this is the lower city. And the Christians came and they lived here. Plus they built 4 churches. From there is a lot of steps there. And plus this is the replica, like the tomb of King Herod. You know.
Herodian, named after Herod the Great, was a magnificent palace that he built on top of a mount. It is approximately 8 miles south-southeast of Jerusalem, 3 miles southeast of Bethlehem, and approximately 2,500 feet above sea level. It had double walls with towers, various rooms, a garden, bathhouse, large cisterns. It appears to have been built as a fortress and memorial to Herod. It was conquered in 71 AD by the Romans. Herod lived from approximately 37 BC to 4 BC. It was he that received the wise men and killed all boys 2 years and old and under in the area of Bethlehem, reference Matthew 2:18. Off in the distance from Herodian, we can just see very faintly the Dead Sea.
Over on the other side.
Also over on the other side are the mountains of Moab, looking off in the distance. Herodian. We're currently going down inside the mountain.
This they must have put on it later because it was falling down.
And
This is inside the mountain.
master line too, because it was a system.
The inside of this mountain just keeps going and going and going, it seems. Still going down. Still inside the mountain of Herodian.
The Romans defeated them.
Now from the distance from near the top of the mountain. They had big stones that were up at the top, which when an enemy would try to come up the sides, they would just roll the big huge stones down on them. Looking off towards Jordan from Herodian Mountain. And of course the Dead Sea's out there.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of you.
Seeing carvings on some of the rocks here. The Shepherd Fields. As one travels to Bethlehem, there are even today shepherd fields scattered in various places. Bethlehem is now a fair-sized city with about 2,500 people. But when Jesus was born, it was a little town. The fields that existed then have since been swallowed up about the size of the city that now exists.
That was nice.
City of Bethlehem.
Second church, the way it looks like, because in a few minutes you will and leave your things in the bus. The driver will stay in the bus.
This is all on sidewalk.
Walking through the streets of Bethlehem. Continuing to walk through Bethlehem.
Like I mentioned, you are in Palestine.
Church of the Nativity. Church of the Nativity. This is called Manger Square.
I'm looking at
Some of the original floor in the original church. The church is currently being rebuilt. As is often done in the Holy Land, a church is built, often Catholic, where they claim it is the exact place where Jesus was born. Several denominations share this church. This location is traditional. Traditional place that Jesus was born in. Bethany, Mount of Olives, Jerusalem.
Yes, sir.
Today is Thursday. We've just finished going through the tour along the bottom of the Western Wall. We've just come out of William Sharon's house. Next is the area opposite the Wailing Wall.